Hi everyone, welcome to the Eindhoven Innovation Café, also to everyone who is watching online. For those who haven't been here before, the Eindhoven Innovation Café is a weekly networking event where we show what Eindhoven has to design in the fields of technology and design. Unfortunately, the speaker who would come today couldn't be here due to unforeseen circumstances, Natalie Dixon, but she will be here in the near future, so check out our website, ehvinnovationcafe.org, for an updated program. Frederiek Dijkstra, the program manager of the Dutch Design Awards, very gracefully offered to do a presentation about everything Dutch Design Awards. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, you're all very welcome for drinks afterwards at the bar. There are no restrictions anymore due to COVID, so it should all be as normal. Well, and I'll let it over to you.
Thank you, Anu. Well, in a different topic than the general business Dutch Design Awards is about. So we have the competition, the award show, and the exhibition. That's also why I put the catalogs of last year on your chairs. So everything I don't tell now, you can read in the booklets. As I said, my name is Frederiek, and today I want to talk about 3 different things regarding to Dutch Design Awards, which gives a little bit of peek behind the scenes on how broad our categories are, and therefore also all the projects with which we are working. This, by the way, is the award which is designed 2 years ago by George and Harrison, a graphic design studio here in Eindhoven. The subject of today is the variety of the works, the search for suitable jury members, and the commitment towards inclusivity. The variety of works. Dutch Design Awards annually honors the best Dutch design awards they are, and who made their most impressive and groundbreaking projects. Different disciplines, perspectives, and solutions are judged in the light of the impact they have on our society, and we channel that in as well socially, culturally, intrinsically, and/or culturally. And the projects we are judging, although the judges are judging, I'm not judging anything, are divided in 8 different categories, and 6 of them are more discipline-based, and 2 are slightly different because they're overarching across disciplines, where the emphasis is more on the designer. And I just want to show you now the 8 different categories we have. The pictures that are alongside the categories are the winners and nominees of last year. They're also all in the booklets. Data and interaction is one of them. And I read down the short definition we have from where to where a category is, so you get the feeling how broad the category is, and the search of projects we are looking for. So with data and interaction, it's all about from artistic expressions to commercial solutions, from app to site, and from installations to virtual worlds. When we look at design research, this is one of the images of Effect Lab of Natalie, who should be here. Design research is a category which goes from speculative to applied, from research to design, and from ideas to solutions, with an emphasis on the research phase. The category communications. 2 years ago, last year, we shuffled the whole category and also the definition, because we noticed that the applications, due to the definition we used for the category, was too narrow. So we got a lot of times only like 2D work and more posters and booklets. And we wanted to show more the broadness of the category as communication. So we changed the description and the definition to from brand and graphic design to digital and advertising, which also put more focus on the digital part and the larger field which communication is. Another one is the habitat. It goes from infrastructure to interiors, from cultural to commercial, from permanent to temporary projects. Fashion, which goes from collections, unique pieces and accessories to offline or online performances. And a nice thing is this is the winner from last year, the Fabricant, and Amber J. Sloten is founder of the Fabricant, and she was one of the first students who graduated fashion school without having made a physical garment. Because she has the vision and the idea that there is already enough made in physical clothing. So she now also, on the 2nd of February, started the platform, the Fabricant Studio, where by using NFTs, you can create your own garment. And also everybody who worked on the garments, so either the color design, who participated is also mentioned always in the whole scene of the garment, and also receives money when the NFT is being resold. This was fashion, and the last one from the more discipline-based categories is product, which goes from products for the working and living environments to human or animal mobility for the consumer or the B2B market. And the two overarching other ones, which are more, I always say like the special categories, are the best commissioning, where we award and look for companies or institutions who start working for a long-term relationship with designers to either strategically use designers for their questions they have in their companies. And the last one is young designer. And young designer is a category which apply to young designers. But the thing I like is that we don't put an age to it. You have a lot of talent programs where you are told to be a talent until 40 or 35. And at DDA, the young designer just looks at the fact that you're not longer graduated in 5 years. But if you do a master when you're 60, then you can apply again. Oh, sorry for my English. The criteria on which the projects are judged on are impact, distinction, expressiveness, and production method. And a few of them, like data and interaction and also design research, they have a small set of extra criteria which goes along the fact how the categories work. Parties who are participating in Dutch Design Awards are very diverse. They go from the young designers who maybe just live at home and have their own working space there, to the larger and international well-known companies, and everything in between. For DDA, it's the work that counts and the work that's being judged on. The great diversity of projects is partly due to the breadth of the category. Years ago, there were several categories, such as product, who had more subcategories, because we saw that there was a grow in different specializations within the category, and that having like more subcategories resulted in fragmentation of the category. And partly for this reason, we made a decision not to introduce all kinds of subcategories within all the different categories, but just put everything together as one main category. And sometimes that feels like comparing apples to pears, because you have in one category you'll be able to have a small project from an individual which has to be compared with a large international one. or international operating studio. But since the judges are judging each project on its own merits, it is possible to put one next to another. And our expert panels are also of great help in the discussion to come forward with 3 nominees. As I said, the DDA reflects on society, and sometimes with the 8 categories we have, it's also difficult to present those 8 different categories to society. Because each category has their own network, has their own branches, and sometimes, for example, habitat doesn't have that much with fashion, or young designers and best commissioners don't talk the same language. So it's up to us as a DDA to put them forward, to mention them in talks like this, use our media contacts and put them in the booklets, and also have the overall jury report, which is also there, which combines all the projects together, which shows the bigger picture that there is. So in fact, comparing the 24 nominees, you get forward a certain zeitgeist, which pulls all different categories together. And one other thing we did to put the bigger picture there is we asked, since 2 years, we asked international journalists to take a look at our 24 nominees, also as a reflection to see and to hear how Dutch our Dutch Design Awards are. Is it typical what we award, or is it just a general trend which is going on? So 2 years ago we asked Nolan Giles from Monocle to take a look, and last year it was Gabrielle Dunmol, who's also writing for Frame and Wallpaper, to have a look and to see how Dutch is. Both of them are also in the booklet. And if you look by the live stream, everything is also to be seen on the Dutch Design Awards website. So if you're not here for the booklet, you can read it online as well. The second part, what I want to talk about, is our search for the most suitable jury members. And while preparing this talk, I got a sense of joy looking at it, because normally I'm just going, and then you have the call for entries, and it's always a search to find the right jury members. But putting like the 8 categories and how broadened they are and from where to where they go, and compare them with our search, my search for the jury members, it fell together. Because as broad as the categories are, the same you can see as well within the search for the juries. When I started a few years ago, you saw that the majority of the jury members was male, and I really wanted to change that. At the moment there's much more diversity. There's still much to make it, to better it, and to change more and make it more diverse. But I think within the last year we made some steps. I think putting together the professional jury and the expert panels is a great responsibility. But as an innovator and connector, and I really like to work in a transparent way, it's also it's a difficult job, especially because I want to do the things right, in the right way. So the weeks within where I have to find and come up with new names for jury members are more complicated weeks of the year. But the jury has been under construction for the last years. In the past it was more, people looked at juries more in a way from the male and female ratio. And nowadays there are so much more things to take into account. When looking to the juries, the main thing is quality, the quality of the people. Because since Dutch Design Awards isn't a money prize, it's a prize where you're chosen by and for the peers of the design field, And that's also why I think it's more important that you choose the right names to be representatives of that sector. And when we look at the complete jury, we've got each category has 4 persons in the jury. So, and all chairmen of the different juries together are the main jury with one overall head jury. And looking at the composition, I always want to look at the bandwidth of the category. For example, when we look at habitat, you have landscape architecture, you have the public space side of the field, more the social design part, the housing, and also the utility construction. And preferably you want to have all 5 within the category as a representative of the projects that are being submitted, but also as to put the invitation there into the field that people can submit themselves to the contest. And to find out who those experts are within those subparts of each category is not my expertise. I think I'm quite good in finding the right people, but knowing exactly who to get within utility construction, that's not me. So it's in the So you're really looking for the right persons, and you look everywhere. So you look in the field and ask there to people from who do I have to attract to be in the expert panel. But also I ask former and current jury members. But also social media plays a big part, and talk shows and programs, social media channels. And another part where to look at to make the composition of the jury members is the geographical location. You don't want to have like 5 members or more who are from either the same city, or that the whole jury comes from the Randstad and only 2 of them from Brabant, or the other way around, that everybody is from Brabant and only 2 from the Randstad. So looking at people and searching, that sometimes you find the right ones, but you have one category where all 5 are from the same city. And then, I don't like it. So then I'm not taking, so the 5th one, the new one, even if it's the right one, I'm making myself search even further to find the second best person or another one which fits as well. The diversity of the group is also an important thing. So not only the male-female ratio, but also the cultural background and also the network that they bring with them. Because judges and juries are also, in their preferably have the appeal to the field, and are also the reason to submit for the contest. As a jury member, you're a kind of an ambassador of DDA. So this is one of the juries from Data and Interaction, and this is our main jury for 2022. So they are the chairmen of each category, who also put forward the nominees that are being chosen by the expert panels as well. And Kevin de Randami is our new chairman, and he will be there during the main jury day and come forward together with the 8 other ones to come from the 3 nominees of each category to 8 winners, which are being presented during DDA. And the last part is the commitment towards inclusivity. When we talk about involving suitable jury members, as I mentioned before, I think we pay more attention now than before to the inclusive nature of the composition. And DDA relates to society, as I said, and you really want to that everybody and everything related to DDA is a reflection of that society. And I know that now it isn't, but we're not there yet, but we're improving each year a little bit better. And the ideal reflection is not something, I think, what is able to be succeeded in 1 or 2 years. It needs growth, and it requires openness, vulnerability, research as well, and questioning to see and to know where the right channels are to find the right people. Ways that often are unknown, because a lot of times, myself as well, are like fishing in the same pond. So you want to go further, you want to meet and know about more new people, but you really have to get out of your own system. The jury of DDA, and I suspect like more juries in general, are being under a magnifying glass. A lot of people have like really quick opinions about how juries look like and how it seems for the outside world. But what is not taking in consideration is what's happening behind the scenes. So the questions that are being asked, the processes and the conversations that are there to improve everything. And in my search for the diverse team of jury members, I started a few years ago by reading the different Dutch design books and surveys. And what struck me was that looking at what was written there in several books, the amount of cultural diversity was almost none. So I started to looking further and online platforms, talking with people, social media channels, and then going further. And it's a journey. But I think every edition of DDA we evolve, and it's getting better, and it's also getting a better representation of what society looks like. And in addition to the personal part, so the physical persons within the jury, it's also a question of language. We started with different conversations with target groups to look at the language that DDA is using, as well on the website, as in the booklets, as in our subscription form. And we noticed and also got back from people that also there's a difference in how people want to be talked to. So that's an important point of attention, but we also noticed, again looking at the broadness of the DDA, that there is no general or universal language, because one category wants to use a certain language tone as the other ones. For example, young designers and best commissioners, they need, and also the larger companies in a category as Habitat, they need a different kind or maybe more formal tone of voice. Although the young designers would like to be talked to in a more informal way. So we're really looking on how to change language that it's more open for more people without getting it too much in a Jip and Janneke version. So it's a search. Everything is a search. But next to the language it's as well language. Last year we started a collaboration with the Erasmus School of Management, which is a part of the Erasmus University, and they came to us and asked us if we would like to participate in a research where it's all about inclusivity and inclusiveness. It involves an assessment process, the study of the selection of the assessment process in the Dutch Design Awards, because in previous research, they found out that women and ethnic minorities more often didn't finish at the end of a subscription assessment. And they wanted to know if it's due to the language women use or the more new ideas that they have. So the university used data for 2 years, to 2019 and 2020, and they encoded the way of innovation. So they had a whole pack of words which they connected to the different subscriptions from DDA and looked at how new or norm violating it was to see, and afterwards to look at which gender was connected to which project. And lucky for me, bad for them, there was no relation. So what they expected was that women and ethnic minorities wouldn't finish as much as they did. And I have. So for the analysis which is being done now, which is only a small part because we continue in our collaboration for another 2 years, is that in addition the gender does not seem to affect an entry is shortlisted or nominated for an award. So maybe a beetje een rommelig story. Looking at DDA, it's not only that design is relating to society, it is society in the best possible representation of it. I think it was like a lot, and I've pinpointed like maybe too little. So if you want to know more, then I'll be here. It's a small peek of DDA and what work is being done to larger themes as inclusivity, finding the right people for the juries, but also the large and the broadened category selection we work with. And for the call for entries opened on the 18th of February, and it's still open until the 4th of May. On our on our website of DDA, you can find all information about how to subscribe and to which criteria you have to apply. And I want to thank you for being here. Thank you. Moet je nog iets? Ja. Yes, you're asking if by changing and applying more diversity, if we see it as well in applicants and visitors in our exhibition. I think we do so. I think last year we made quite a switch with new people within the different juries, and maybe after 1 year it's only too short to say so, but when you look through the applicants which are there, there is a difference noticeable than the years before. And if it's also to be seen by the visitors in, and I can only talk about the visitors to the exhibition of DDA, I don't know exactly, I can't say it. Because normally in other years I was almost 9 days within the exhibition walking around. But due to the TV shows where we announce a winner each day, I've been just shortly at the exhibitions and going back and forth to Eindhoven. Other questions?
Thank you for your talk. It was quite informative about Dutch Design Awards, and it's nice to know more about it. And it was also very interesting to see Milan van Helstingen.
Yeah.
We also hosted, she also contributed in one of our course at TV, recently actually, and it was quite interesting to see how the idea NXT Museum that she has founded. So it's nice to see that she's in the journalists to look at the nominees and what kind of responses or report or points that you have received from them, which was surprising or interesting or interesting to hear actually from your perspective.
Now the thing I like is that the Dutch part of the Dutch Design Awards is mainly the mentality we have. So for certain projects, it's the way of thinking which is typical Dutch. And it was not from last year, but 2 or 3 years ago, there was a bridge in Nijmegen, which consists of stones which are in the waterline. And it is a bridge, but due to high water, you can't go across. And it plays with the whole question of the climate change and the water, which plays a big role in the Netherlands. And then an international journalist also said, this is really Dutch, because no way somewhere else a bridge which is half the time beneath water level would have been built, because a bridge is go across from one side to another and not to not be able to use. So I think that mainly is the thing that struck one side the most, that it's really a mentality thing on how we as Dutch designers approach questions. But on the other side, you also see that maybe more and more projects also refer to the bigger issues that are more global and not typically Dutch. So it's a little bit of both, I think.
Thank you for your presentation, Paul. To what extent, next to or besides the typical Dutch design elements that's referred to as well, to what extent is Dutch Design Awards different from other design awards worldwide? Every country
has their own.
So what's the uniqueness of the approach and the setup of you as an organization compared to other countries?
And the question is, what's Short said, what the uniqueness or the uniqueness of DDW in regarding to other prizes. I think that the strongest thing, in a way, it's the strongest part, I think, but also the more difficult one to put it on stage, is our diversity in categories. So DDA is about impact and to show what in a way, but that's another thing, what design can do. But the impact that design can have on society. And I think it's growing also more and more, the way impact has. And other awards are more often just specialized in one category. So it's either marketing or either communication. And with DDA, it's 8 different kinds of categories, which all refer to the impact they have on society on different levels. And I think it also grows within the years, because looking at a category like design research, a few years ago it was really more like in a smaller setup and more like individually research which was being done. And now you see that it's also being part of a really large societal questions. Also, when you look at Good Neighbors from Effect Lab, that's also a project which is being done in England and here, but also in Buenos Aires. They want to do it. They hope to do so, but then COVID came. And they all are comparing what like smart doorbells and neighbor watches do to us. So I think, that's a unique part of DDA, that it consists like almost all society within by the 8 categories we have.
Is there anything on your wish list for the near future for you in your position as representative of the awards? No limits?
No limits. Yeah, and it should be that difficult. But being seen like on national or international television as a prize. When I did my when I joined Dutch Design Foundation as a project leader of DDA, my slogan for becoming the project leader was I want DDA to be the gouden kalveren, like of design. And so maybe that's the better answer. If there are no limits, yeah, that's my wish. That everybody from the field, so from those 8 categories, and the field comes together once a year, where you want to be seen and where everybody gets honored for their project. Yeah. Yes, I'm going there, little by little. Yes.
Yeah, I just moved to the Netherlands, so I would
Welcome.
say I know nothing about Dutch design. So my question is more out of curiosity. So how would you summarize for someone like me who doesn't know Dutch design? What are the main characteristics of Dutch design, and also where do you see the main trends going?
Oei. I'm only the project leader. No, saying what Dutch design is and the trends where we're going to, I don't know exactly. But what I see is that Dutch design gets more into in society. So also the more value that design has, maybe that's Dutch design, but maybe that's one of the answers to your first question. It's our mentality to join and to look for solutions. And there was, like previously was, and sometimes still, that companies or government thinks, okay, we put a designer there, and then the solution is there, and we had our box ticked that we also do something with creativity. But that changes. Designers are more and more introduced from the beginning in different processes, and it's not that they are expected to bring the great solution, but it's a way of thinking, what they bring to the table, and it's also being seen by the government. So also now in the new, regeerakkoord, in the new plan the government has put forward, design is there as well, written in as one of the solutions or one of the items to put into consideration as soon as you are talking about larger societal questions. And I think that's also a thing which is typical for Dutch. When we look to other countries around us, it's more hierarchic. So you're not easily at the same table as the CEO of companies. And in the Netherlands, it's not everywhere, but it's easier. We say often, yeah, come at the table to have coffee, and then we'll see what's happening. So I think most of all the hierarchy, which is less in the Netherlands than in other countries, is one of the things that's makes it possible for designers to enter the larger questions as well. You're welcome. Yes, Anouk.
You mentioned there was an anniversary this year.
Yes, this year, 2022, is our 20th anniversary. And we still are planning what we're going to do. I have smaller plans, I have larger plans, so it depends a little bit on what's happening and what's possible to do so. But what I would, either way, would like to do is ask different designers and journalists to take a look at the archive of DDA. We have an archive of 20 years with people who in 2003 were nominated as a young designer, and I really would like to ask somebody to put a reflection on the young designers in all those years. Where did they go to? Were we right when we called them young designer in 2003 or 4? And are they bigger names now, or did they go completely another way? And are they doing something else? But as well, I would like to have a look at it not only in a like verbal way, not a written way, that there are going to be essays about the archive, but maybe also a spoken word or a poem or a video or a really nice wall drawing, which is based on what is to be seen in the archive. So that's a thing in either way I would like to do. And it would also be really nice to have an overview exhibition about 20 years DDA. But that's also another thing. But that would be nice. So all welcome to join this year and to visit the exhibition again during DDW in October. And keep your eyes on the social medias, because during the year, so like the 30th of June or the 1st of July, we'll announce all 24 new nominees of this year. And if you know good designers, put the word out that the call for entries is there. And if you have any questions, just now or later on, just find me. Thanks.
Great. Well, thank you very much for your presentation and telling us all about the awards. And we might see you then when we come and visit. Thank you also here all for being here. Also, everybody who is watching online. I suggest we carry on talking at the bar afterwards. Don't forget your booklets about Dutch Design Awards. I would also like to invite you for another presentation we're having on Tuesday, the 8th of March, in celebration of International Women's Day. Nana Verhoef and Iris van Tuin are going to do a book presentation on the critical concepts of creative thinking. So you're all very welcome to come. And for tonight, you're also all very welcome to come and have dinner at the meetup table for 1750. And hopefully we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, you're still here. So you like the video. If you want, subscribe and click the bell.